GRAPES. GLRA. District of origin of GRAPES. King Valley. Vinification. The grapes were machine harvested, crushed and pressed through an airbag press-in. The protective presence of SO2. Cold tank fermentation was undertaken at between 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. Pressings and free run were fermented separately but combined post-fermentation, after which the wines were stabilized and blended. The base wine was then sent for secondary fermentation, which was undertaken in Charmat, pressurized tanks. Yeast, nutrients and sucrose were added. The secondary fermentation took approximately 7 days, until the desired dissolved CO2 level was achieved. Prior to bottling, further sucrose adjustments were made. All adjustments at this stage were made under pressure. The wine was then ready for bottling. Oak maturation. No oak maturation. Analysis. Alcohol 11.2%. pH 3.35. Acid 5.97 g/L. Sugar 10.9 g/L. Color. Pale straw with light fine bubbles. Nose. A lifted bouquet of green apples, grapefruit with hints of pear and spring flowers. Palate. A spritzy yet soft palate of light green apple and citrus mousse, refreshing with a crisp, acid finish. Food match. Prosciutto wrapped fresh melon. Tasting note. NVPROSECCO. www.tarandroses.com.or. GRAPES. 100% Riesling. District of origin of GRAPES. 100% Central Victoria. Vinification. The grapes were machine harvested, crushed and pressed through an airbag press-in. The protective presence of SO2. Cold tank fermentation was undertaken at between 10 to 14 degrees Celsius. After fermentation was complete, the wines were protein and cold stabilized, blended and prepared for bottling. Analysis. Alcohol 13.5%. pH 3.05. Acid 6.09 g/L. Sugar 1.0 g/L. Color. Pale golden straw. Nose. A lifted bouquet of lemon pith and spring blossoms. Palate. A fresh lively palate of lemon pith and sherbet, fruit sweet and refreshing with a long, linear tight acid finish. Food match. Fettuccine with seared scallops and prosciutto. Winemaker's comments. The heart of this blend comes from the Lewis Riesling block of the Michelton vineyard. After years of sampling the Riesling blocks at Michelton, Don tagged individual vines that he felt had a special character. After sufficient vines were tagged, he had cuttings taken and sent to the nursery for propagation. The resulting Lewis block is a reflection of this attention to detail. One other block makes up this blend. It is the 69 block Riesling across the road from Michelton, which is the Pusey Vale clone. These older vines produce intense classic Riesling characters that complement the Lewis block vines. The resulting blend is an intriguing wine that shows classic Riesling characters with a twist. When picked at their optimal level or ripeness, the Riesling grape has a beautiful dusty, pale lemony gold color with a sweet musk stick flavor. With care and attention, we aim to retain their characters through to the finished wine. Tasting note. 2019 LEWISRIESL in G. www.tarandroses.com.au. District of origin of grapes. Central Victoria. Vinification. The grapes were machine harvested, crushed and pressed through an air bag. Press in the protective presence of SO2. Cold tank fermentation was undertaken at between 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. Where possible, the pressings and free run were fermented separately before being blended back with the free run for stabilization prior to bottling. First bottling the 15th of June, 2020. Analysis. Alcohol 13.8%. pH 3.29. Acid 5.35 g/L. Sugar 1.2 g/L. Color. Pale peach in color. Nose. Lifted peaches and pears on the nose with tropical fruits, high notes of pineapple and lychee with a hint of passion fruit. Palate. The palate has abundant fruit sweetness and classic Pinot Grigio viscosity. Flavors of guava and lychee abound, well balanced with fine acidity, long and lingering. Food match. Barbecued prawns with lemon and olive oil on a leafy summer salad. Winemaker's comments. In 2020 our Pinot Grigio was sourced from 3 main vineyards: the Stratford Vineyard, just north of Nagambie, one in Sutton Grange, as well as vineyards that are planted along the banks of the mighty Goulburn River. The Stratford Vineyard produces the riper end of the flavor spectrum, tropical characters of lychee and passion fruit, while the higher altitude of the Sutton Grange Vineyard provides cooler conditions, allowing the grapes to ripen slowly, ideal for the development of the delicious classic fresh peach and pear characters. The mighty Goulburn River also has a cooling effect on the vineyards planted on its banks that mimics a type of elevation. The characters here also are more towards the iconic peaches and pears. Together these characters combine to make a wine that is easy drinking and incredibly versatile. Tasting notes. 2020 PINOTGRIGIO. www.tarandroses.com.au. Grapes. Nerbiolo. District of origin of grapes. Heathcote. Vinification. The grapes were hand-picked, crushed and pressed through an air bag press in the protective presence of SO2. Cold tank fermentation was undertaken at between 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. Pressings and free run were fermented separately but combined post-fermentation. The pressings were put to barrel and stirred. After fermentation the parcels were combined, stabilized and filtered ready for bottling. Oak maturation. No oak maturation. Analysis. Alcohol 13.0%. pH 3.43. Acid 5.11 g/L. Sugar 1.0 g/L. Color. Pale coral pink. Nose. A delicate nose of citrus and tangerine aromas, flowers and wet stone. Palate. Fresh and lively with citrus notes that combine beautifully with a mouth-filling viscosity. The wine finish is crisp and long. Food match. Grilled barramundi with fresh summer salad. Tasting note. 2019 NEB-BIOLOROSE. www.tarandroses.com.au